My ex humiliated me about my body and inexperience at a party. 1 month later, she's already repeating the pattern with someone new. 25M. Never thought I'd be posting here, but I need to get this off my chest. Last night, something happened that made me question my entire relationship, and I'm still trying to process it all. My girlfriend and I have been dating for about 8 months. Things were going well, or so I thought. We met through mutual friends, hit it off, and had what I considered a solid relationship. She's always been more outgoing and social than me, which I admired. I'm more reserved, especially in group settings, but I've been making an effort to be more comfortable around her friends. Last night, she invited me to a small get-together at her apartment with 4 of her closest friends. I was nervous, but excited to spend more time with people who are important to her. The evening started fine: drinks, snacks, casual conversation. I was actually feeling pretty good about how things were going. Then, after a few drinks, the conversation turned to past relationships. Everyone was sharing stories, and when it came to my girlfriend's turn, she looked at me with this smirk I'd never seen before. "Well, I could tell you about this one," she said, pointing at me. "He was so nervous our first time together. It was like teaching a teenager." Her friends laughed, and I tried to smile through it, thinking it would end there. But it didn't. "And you should see him when he takes his shirt off," she continued. "He's so self-conscious about his little love handles. I keep telling him to hit the gym, but..." She made this dismissive gesture with her hand. I felt my face burning. The room seemed to shrink around me. Her friends were all looking at me now, some laughing, some with awkward expressions. She went on, describing intimate details about our relationship that I never would have shared with anyone. Things I'd confided in her about my insecurities. Things that were private between us. All while her friends sat there, drinking and laughing at my expense. I don't remember exactly what else she said. All I know is that something inside me just broke. Without saying a word, I stood up, grabbed my jacket, and walked out. I could hear her calling after me, but I didn't stop. I walked for nearly an hour in the cold before calling a rideshare home. My phone kept buzzing with texts and calls from her, but I couldn't bring myself to answer. This morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and a string of texts ranging from angry, "Why did you embarrass me like that?" to apologetic, "I was just joking, please call me." I haven't responded yet. I don't know what to say. I keep replaying the night in my head, wondering if I overreacted. But then I remember the look on her face as she mocked me, how she seemed to enjoy humiliating me in front of her friends, and I feel that same knot in my stomach. I think I'm done. I don't see how I can trust her again after this. Am I overreacting? Should I hear her out? Or was walking away the right call? Update 1*. First, thank you to everyone who responded. I honestly didn't expect this much support, and it's helped me gain some clarity. After taking a day to process everything, I decided I needed to talk to her face-to-face. I texted her asking to meet at a neutral location, a quiet coffee shop we don't usually go to. I figured a public place would keep things civil, but somewhere unfamiliar would avoid triggering memories. When we met, she immediately started apologizing. She claimed she was just trying to be one of the gang, and that the alcohol made her take it too far. I let her talk, but the more she explained, the more it felt like excuses rather than genuine remorse. I finally told her exactly how her comments made me feel: betrayed, humiliated, and disrespected. I explained that sharing intimate details about our relationship and mocking my insecurities wasn't just a bad joke. It was a fundamental breach of trust. Her response was telling. She got defensive, saying I was being too sensitive and that everyone jokes about their partners with friends. When I pointed out that there's a difference between lighthearted teasing and what she did, she rolled her eyes and said I was making a big deal out of nothing. That moment confirmed what I needed to know. I told her calmly that I couldn't be with someone who didn't respect my boundaries or understand why what she did was hurtful. I said I thought it was best we go our separate ways. She seemed shocked, like she hadn't considered that this could be a relationship-ending event. She started crying and saying she would never do it again, that she'd make it up to me. But something had shifted inside me. The trust was gone. I wished her well, paid for our coffees, and left. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but also one of the most necessary. Update 2*. It's been about a week since the breakup, and things have gotten complicated. 2 days after our coffee shop conversation, I started getting messages from her friends. At first, I ignored them, assuming they were just taking her side. But then one of them, the quietest one from that night, sent a longer message that caught my attention. She apologized for not speaking up during the incident and said she and another friend had actually confronted my ex afterward about how inappropriate her comments were. Apparently, this wasn't the first time my ex had spoken about me this way to them, though it was the first time she'd done it in front of me. This friend also mentioned that my ex has been telling everyone a very different version of events, claiming I had been overly sensitive about some harmless jokes and had stormed out for no reason. She's apparently been painting herself as the victim, saying I refused to communicate and cruelly cut her off. I thanked this friend for reaching out, but made it clear I wasn't interested in getting pulled into any drama. I've blocked my ex on social media, though I haven't blocked her number yet, a decision I'm still wrestling with. Meanwhile, I've been focusing on myself. I joined a gym, ironically, not because of what she said, but because I wanted to do something positive for myself. I've also reached out to some friends I had somewhat neglected during the relationship. Their support has been invaluable. The hardest part has been fighting the urge to defend myself against whatever narrative she's spinning. But I keep reminding myself that people who know me will see through it, and those who don't, well, their opinions aren't my concern. Update 3 asterisk. It's been about a month now, and I feel like I've finally gained some perspective on everything that happened. Last week, I ran into one of my ex's friends at a local store. I was prepared for awkwardness, but instead, she was surprisingly friendly. We chatted briefly, and she mentioned that my ex had started dating someone new already. I was surprised by how little this bothered me. If anything, it confirmed I'd made the right decision. What had catch me off guard was when this friend mentioned that my ex's new relationship was already showing similar patterns. Apparently, she'd been making jokes at his expense during group gatherings too. It was a strange moment. Part validation that the problem wasn't me, part genuine concern for this stranger who has no idea what he's in for. As for me, I've been on a couple of casual dates, nothing serious. The experience with my ex has made me more cautious, but also more aware of what I value in a relationship: mutual respect, privacy, and kindness. I'm taking things slow and being upfront about my boundaries from the start. The most unexpected outcome of all this has been my own personal growth. Before this happened, I probably would have forgiven her behavior to avoid conflict or being alone. Now, I recognize that some lines can't be uncrossed, and that being alone is far better than being with someone who tears you down. To those who suggested therapy in the comments, I took your advice. I've had 3 sessions so far, and it's been helpful in processing not just this relationship, but some deeper patterns that led me to accept disrespectful treatment in the first place. I still have moments where I question my decision or miss the good parts of our relationship. But then I remember that night, the look on her face as she mocked me, and I know I made the right choice. Some betrayals cut too deep to heal while you're still with the person who inflicted them. Thank you all for your support through this. It's meant more than you know.